Hello, everyone. This is Geeta Nathan from the IndieCommerce team, and we are using GoToWebinar today for this presentation. So those who have attended previous IndieCommerce webinars, you're probably familiar with the interface. And if you're not, like, on your GoToWebinar panel, you will see an option like a palm symbol. If you can hear me, if you can just hit on that so I know that is like raising your hand to know that you can actually hear me. Okay, got it. And we have a lot of attendees today, more than 60, so I'm not sure if we will be able to hear you ask the questions. So there is a questions pane at the bottom. You can see it on your GoToWebinar thing, and you can actually type in your questions here. I'm hoping that someone else from the IndieCommerce team will be here to go through those questions, and I will answer them at the end. And okay, perfect. We have more people joining, so let's just okay. And we have a few questions already. Yes, this session is being recorded, and we will make it available for others to see. We will make it available on the IndieCommerce Help Center. Okay. And there are some questions about Ingram warehouses. We will look into that in a little bit. I'll just give a couple of minutes more and then we can start. Okay, so let's begin. So today we are here. I know some of you tried to join yesterday, but we were maxed out. We used the GoToMeeting yesterday, and that has a maximum of 25. So we created this session, which is on GoToWebinar, and we can record this and we will post it later. And here the maximum is much higher, so we can have more attendees today. So this discussion is mainly about Ingram fulfillment and how you can send orders to Ingram from your IndieCommerce site, and about what is CDF, to just an overview and also to answer a lot of your questions. I know we have been getting a lot of questions from members, so we thought that something like this would actually help everyone. So it will reduce, in the end, I think we are hoping that this will reduce the number of questions we get too. As you all might have known, we are answering up to about 250 emails a day from all our members, in addition to phone calls, and we are hoping that this would actually help answer some of your questions. So before today, during the presentation, I will be referring to some documents. So those who have not been to okay, I'm just going to quickly Okay, so it looks like everybody can hear me. Okay, so today I'll be referring to a lot of referring to documents a lot during this presentation. So if you have not been on the IndieCommerce Help Center, I think you should take a look at it. So if you are logged into bookweb.org, just please bear with me. Usually I have other IndieCommerce staff on the call with me, so someone can tell me if they don't see things, but I'm guessing everybody can see my screen. Okay. So if you go to bookweb.org and under booksellers, you will see IndieCommerce and IndieLite. Sorry, here and IndieCommerce and IndieLite. So this is our main help center. And many of you have probably looked at the help center here, which has all the documents that we have accumulated over a couple of years. What you see here, the Coronavirus Resource Center, this is something that we have added recently, and we will be updating the information here. And what is important for today's discussion is the Ingram Fulfillment FAQ. And again, this has a lot of good information about Ingram Fulfillment, and you will find the answers for most of your questions here. And this is the document that we are going to keep updated as we hear from stores if there's something that we missed, and this is where you will find it. So please bookmark this page. This should be your go-to page if you have Ingram fulfillment related questions. So we will be referring to this document a lot today. So first, let's start off with what is the difference between the main question that we hear is difference between direct to home and customer direct fulfillment. So what most of the stores are already familiar with is direct to home, which means you get an order and you probably do this using from your POS or from iPage. You can submit an order to Ingram. So when you do that, that is called direct to home, and the customer direct fulfillment is what happens when you send an order to Ingram from your IndieCommerce website by clicking on the button that says send to Ingram. So that is customer direct fulfillment, and this is different from your direct to home. Some of the main differences between the two. So when you use direct to home, you use your Ingram account. When you use customer direct fulfillment, the CDF on IndieCommerce sites, you are using ABA's Ingram account. So when these orders get submitted to Ingram, they are using ABA's Ingram account. So because of that, there are some differences. One, the shipping rates. The shipping rates that you get from Ingram may be different from the shipping rates that Ingram will use when they fulfill an order that is through IndieCommerce website. And the other main difference is the discount. I use regular as an example. So when an order is sent to Ingram via CDF, regular books have a 40% discount, which is what we get from Ingram. But if you, I guess some of the stores, most of you probably have a better discount if you do direct to home. And another difference is when you send an order to Ingram from your IndieCommerce sites, we usually look at all the warehouses. We are not associated with any particular warehouse. Like we don't have a primary or secondary. Like the way CDF works is it'll look at all the warehouses to see which warehouse has the books from that order. So even if so you will actually find orders being shipped to your customers from warehouses that are not your primary or secondary warehouse. That can happen too. And you can, even if you're a store, and the other thing is with CDF, Ingram will choose the warehouse that is closest to the customer that has all the books from that order. So that if your store is in California and you have a customer on the East Coast, the CDF can actually ship the order to the customer from one of the East Coast warehouses. And about the payments, so when you do direct to home, you handle payments directly with Ingram. But when you do send orders to Ingram from the CDF from the IndieCommerce site, because it uses ABA's account, the payment actually goes through ABA, which means Ingram will invoice us and then we will reconcile it with the store. And we can get into those details later. So how does, I'm going to quickly check that there isn't anything. urgent in the, okay. So how does the basic Ingram fulfillment work for IndieCommerce sites? So you are on the website, sorry, your customer goes to the website, they place an order for a book, and you look and the order is placed, the customer gets a confirmation email. Everything is the same for the customer. The customer does not see anything different now. And then a store staff would log into the site, you go look at the order, and that's where you will see an send to Ingram button. The thing is, I was trying to get one of our test sites to work that way. Let's see if I can find something. Okay, so this is a pre-order. Let me find an order that has. I think we can just use that example. Okay, let's just use this example. So the customer placed an order and the order went through, the customer got the notification, and then you have this order. And if you look here, so this is a pre-order. So let's just assume that this is a regular order. If it's a regular order, the button will say send order to Ingram. If it's a pre-order, it says send pre-order to Ingram. If it's a regular order, it is send order to Ingram. All you have to do is click that button. Once you click that button, the order gets queued up in our system to be sent to Ingram. It does not happen automatically. Like we batch all the orders together and we send it to Ingram 4 times a day. It happens at 6:30 a.m., 9:30 a.m., 12:30 in the afternoon, and again at 4:30 in the evening Eastern time. So now the order has gone to Ingram, and then Ingram will accept the order, and immediately you will see a note that says Ingram accepted the order. Let's take a look at one of the completed orders. If we have a completed warehouse. Okay, so this is the next step. So we have sent the order, and then the order was, you will see when you click that button, you will see that the order was sent to Ingram by the admin. And then you get a response. We get the response from Ingram, and then we process that response, and that will say the update. So Ingram will say, yes, we accepted the order. This will be shipped from this warehouse. And then when Ingram ships the warehouse, there will be another note that says Ingram shipped the warehouse, books from that warehouse. And finally, it'll say Ingram completed, it invoiced, and then the order is completed and it's closed. That means that order is completely done. And when the customer places the order, the card is authorized. There is no charge, it's just authorized. And when Ingram ships the order, we get a note from Ingram that Ingram has shipped the order, and that is when the customer's credit card will get charged. And when Ingram invoices us, we will reconcile. So when we get the Ingram's invoice, it will tell clearly how much we owe Ingram for that order. Again, remember that this is using ABA's Ingram account, so Ingram is going to invoice us. You won't see the invoice from Ingram, but we will. So Ingram will tell us how much we owe Ingram, the cost of the book, and there is a 50 cents processing fee per book, and there is a shipping. So we will pay Ingram whatever we owe Ingram for that order, and then we will see how much the customer was charged, and then we will reconcile. Anything after we have paid Ingram, anything that is left over, that will be calculated, and then we will either deposit that amount into your bank. And if we didn't have enough funds, if you did not charge the customer enough for the book, and if Ingram cost is more than what you had charged, then we will have to pull money from your bank. So the reconciliation happens after we get the invoice from Ingram. And now, because there are so many orders going through and our members need the funds as soon as possible, we are running these reconciliation reports every Monday. So if you look at the reconciliation report, you will actually see the details. If it's an Ingram fulfilled order, you will see how it'll give you a clear breakup of what's happening, about how much was sent to Ingram, how much was the credit card fee. If you're using ABA's authorized .NET, there is still that credit card fee and the 4.5% commission, and then the remaining gets deposited to your account. And if you are using your own credit card processor, then we pay Ingram, and then we will collect from you whatever we paid Ingram. So that is, so this is basically how the Ingram fulfillment works. So the customer places the order, you opt to send it to Ingram, Ingram fulfills the order, Ingram invoices us, and we do the reconciliation and the loop is closed. And your customers have no idea that Ingram is shipping the books to them. To them, it just means that they place the order on your website and they are getting the books. And when Ingram ships the order, the shipping label will have your store's address on it. So if the customer has a problem with the order, they can only contact you because they don't know that it's coming from Ingram. So they will obviously contact you. And if it is an order that was shipped by Ingram, and if the customers contact you about that order, you should let the IndieCommerce staff know. If you contact Ingram directly about that order, you will not get any information from them because it will be very hard for them to locate that order. When we send an order to Ingram, we kind of change the order ID a bit so that we can identify which store it is from. So if you look at an order on your website, let's say this order, the order number is 155. If you contact Ingram, your rep at Ingram, and ask them about order 155, they will have no idea what you're talking about. Because when we send it to Ingram, we do not say order 155, we add something more to that order number. So that is one thing. If there is a problem with your Ingram order, please contact the IndieCommerce staff and we can track that order for you. Okay, I'm just going to quickly check if there is any important question here. Okay. I think after I'll cover one more topic and then we will go back to the questions. And so again, in the other order, you saw that there was the send pre-order to Ingram. Pre-orders are treated slightly different. And again, IndieCommerce stores have the option to send pre-orders to Ingram. IndieLite stores do not. So with pre-orders, what's happening is we don't know when that book is going to be published. So let's say you want to send a pre-order to Ingram today. We will actually collect payment for that order today. We will charge the customer's card today. There's the main difference between pre-orders and regular orders. Because as you know, authorizations are valid only for 4 weeks. And if this book is published beyond 4 weeks, we don't want to take the risk. So if it is a pre-order, when you send it to Ingram, the customers will see the charge right away as soon as you hit that button for pre-orders. And Ingram will hold on to that order. The day before the book is published, they will ship the book. So hopefully the customers will get the book on the pub date. And then the order will remain with Ingram until the pub date. And again, if it is a pre-order, and when you talk to Ingram about it, again, if it is an order that is sent from your IndieCommerce site to Ingram, we highly recommend that you talk to us about it. But if you ask Ingram about any of those pre-orders, Ingram internally they call it as a back order. They do not call it as a pre-order, so it can cause some confusion. That is just an FYI. Again, the other major question is you may not see for this particular order. There are some orders where you may not see the Ingram button. Why is that? So that is the other major question that we always get. So for an order to be eligible for Ingram fulfillment, there are a few things that the order should satisfy. One, it has to be paid for using a credit card. Number two, the shipping options. Ingram can only accept certain shipping options. So when you create shipping options on your IndieCommerce site, you can call it anything you want, but then there are certain things, keywords that are necessary for us to send an order to Ingram, and we'll go over that. And the third one is when we send orders to Ingram, all the books in that order should be available in one warehouse. We cannot split an order that we send to Ingram. So if one warehouse does not have all the books, then you will not be able to send that order to Ingram. Now we are seeing like orders that have 10, 15 books in that order. And those are most likely not going to get to Ingram because out of those 15 books, if they are popular books, again, the chances of all of them available in one warehouse the chances goes low. And also, given the situation now, it's taking Ingram, it's manual work on Ingram's end to fulfill these orders, so it can cause delays. So actually, sometimes we are recommending stores like maybe post a message on their website because now everybody is sending orders to Ingram, everybody is competing for Ingram's time. Maybe just limit customers to maybe like 4 or 5 books in an order. That might help. So again, the reasons, if you go to the help document that we looked at before, the reasons are here. So this is the Ingram fulfillment FAQ. And in this FAQ, we have actually added the link which lists all the reasons, but I can just go to that page directly. Okay, so these are all the reasons, mainly the shipping. So your shipping should be one of these for Ingram to accept it. And it should be a credit card order. And all the books should be in that same or in the same warehouse. And the other important thing is custom products. If you have an order that has a book and a custom product in that order, that cannot be sent to Ingram. Again, because Ingram doesn't have the custom product, that's your product. So that we cannot split the order, so that order will not be eligible for Ingram. And we will talk about how to deal with it if you do have those problems. So this is the basic reasons. Again, go over this document. It lists everything. And this document is also listed from that other FAQ. So this has all the information. And the other question, so let's take a look at the shipping options. So what is important when you create shipping options? Okay, so we looked at some of the titles for the shipping. Let's say it's media mail. So media mail, yes, Ingram can ship it. So let's go take a look at the shipping option. So it is under store, configuration, shipping quotes. So this is media mail. So again, this is a test site. It has all the options enabled, but you don't have to worry about it. So we are going to just focus on media mail, and I'll show you what is important for you to look for. Now edit. So here, there are two fields for every shipping option that you create. One is the shipping method title, and the other is the line item label. The line item label is what your customers will see when they go through checkout. This can be anything. If you want to call it free shipping, in case you are offering free media mail, you can call this free shipping. That's fine. This is what your customers are going to see. What you enter in the title, this is important. This should exactly match what you are seeing here. So that is the important thing. So the title should match the condition, the shipping options that Ingram will accept. And then you will set the base price and all this. So this is important when you create shipping titles. And also just make sure the spelling is correct. There are no typos, because we are just comparing the string that you put in here with what Ingram can accept. And about the shipping rate, Ingram has a standard shipping rate that they use for all their CDF orders. And it doesn't matter which warehouse it's getting shipped from or where the customer is. Even if it is from the West Coast to the East Coast, it doesn't matter. They have the same rate. For example, for media mail, they charge, I believe it is $3.75 for the first book and $1.25 for additional books. And you can set anything here you want, but please note that the rate that you set here is what your customers are going to pay for this order. So you have to make sure that if you don't want to lose money, you have to make sure that you are charging the customers enough, because Ingram is going to charge you at that rate. If you are offering free shipping, Ingram doesn't care that you are offering free shipping. They are still going to charge you $3.75 for the first book and $1.25 for additional books. So you are going to pay Ingram for that shipping. So if you are doing free shipping now, and if Ingram is shipping the order, that shipping will be on you. You will be paying for that shipping out of your pocket. So that is important to note. And again, if your store is closed, if you don't have any store pickup, if you don't have curbside pickup, make sure that all the shipping options are disabled. Anything that that's going to work right now should be disabled. You can have UPS ground, you could have media mail, but if in-store pickup is not possible, please disable that. So anything, if you're not doing international right now, disable that. If you're not doing UPS overnight, disable that. So this way, customers don't have all these unnecessary options that they will opt into, and then later you have an order that you cannot fulfill, and then it becomes a customer service issue. So just provide what you can do to your customers at this time. And also if you are dependent fully on Ingram for processing these orders. And the next thing is, so we talked about the reasons, and there are some orders where the Ingram button does not show. And the reasons could be because there is an item in the order that is not available at the warehouse. So you can, if you are, oh, there you go, I found an order. So this is 159, it says send to Ingram. So this one actually, let's just go through what happens when you hit that Ingram button. So now I click on send to Ingram, it's gone to Ingram. And you see here, it is marked for wholesaler fulfillment by the admin, because I, as a store admin, I clicked that button. And now it is queued up to go to Ingram. And immediately, the status will change into pending warehouse. When Ingram ships the book, the status will change to shipped via warehouse. When Ingram invoices us and the order is closed, it will become completed by warehouse. Yes, editing the order. So let's say you have an order and you have a book, you have two books, and then you find that one of the book is not available at Ingram, but the other one is. And you can either contact the customer, find out if they are fine with just getting one of those books, then you can edit the order. So normally you would, there is a document for how to edit orders. You can edit the order, remove the item that is not available, and you are more likely to see the send to Ingram button for the other book. Again, this is, there is no guarantee, but it could work. Okay, so editing, okay. And again, you're seeing this feature, which we are still working on right now. This is something we thought would help stores figure out why an order is not sent to Ingram. We are still working on this. This is not perfect, so we have not made it available for stores. We are trying to kind of come up with what reasons and list these reasons here so that you can have all the answers that you need at the tip of your hands. And this should be available on your orders. We are still working on it. It's not ready yet. And so the next one is, so we talked about editing the order, the reasons, and editing the order. What else? And then pre-order, and once an order is sent to Ingram, you cannot touch that order, because for real good reasons, because Ingram already has the order, it's going to ship it. And once the order gets into Ingram's system, it is very hard to pull it back, because it goes into their system, everything is automated after that. And for someone to actually go in and then remove the order from the queue is actually very hard. So that's why we actually took away all controls to an order once the order has become pending warehouse. And once you move an order to Ingram, it is pending warehouse. If you see that the status has not changed in 2 days, please let us know, because there could be something else wrong with that order and we can look into it. And we would like stores to keep an eye on that for us. And one more thing that I know that we had mentioned this in the document, but I just wanted to go over it, about the preferences. So here you go to store configuration, account information, and preferences, and store preferences. So here, for now, we are trying to organize this and change the descriptions, because some of these preferences here can be a little confusing. It's anything that relates to Ingram orders. Please do not make any choices here, because as of now, none of these will actually, anything like it says send to stop orders, all orders to Ingram. We try to put in a note here that this does not work anymore. So whether it is enabled or not, it's not going to make a difference. Again, you have something called send to Ingram. This is something that we are working on. And again, whether enabling this or disabling this is not going to make a difference. The same thing for send pre-orders to Ingram. So for now, and also this is, you probably won't see this, we are working on this. So anything that is here on the preference page, whether you enable it or disable it, it's not going to make a difference. So don't get confused because you enable something and you're not seeing anything different with your orders. The one thing that I would like to focus on now is the automatic sending orders, allowing orders to be fulfilled by Ingram automatically. This, what happens is, so earlier we talked about this, where a customer places an order, it's in the queue, and then you go look at the order, you see the send to Ingram button, and then you click on it. But we used to have an option where instead of a store going in to click that button, if the order satisfies all the conditions, the order would get automatically sent to Ingram. Nobody gets to look at the order. Customer places the order, the system checks everything is good, and it's queued up for Ingram. But for real good reasons, we recommending stores not to use this. And we know that some stores have used this, and that is sending orders to Ingram directly, automatically, without no one looking at the order. We are going to go in and then disable this option for all those stores. One of the main reasons right now is the fraud. We are seeing a lot of fraudulent orders getting fulfilled. And since we hope and we expect someone at the store to actually look at the orders, make sure that it doesn't look odd. You know your customers better. And there are a lot of warnings on the order if the shipping and the billing address is different, and if the customer's IP address is different. So we want you to take a look at the order, make sure that the order is actually a legitimate order before you send it to Ingram. Again, if it is a fraudulent order, Ingram is going to ship the book and you get a chargeback. Unfortunately, we cannot, like if you're using your unauthorized.net, you're going to lose that money. And we are also seeing a lot of orders with multiple copies of books, which again could be a sign of a fraudulent order, because now Amazon, as we know, Amazon is not shipping books. And so we think that people are placing fraudulent orders on IndieCommerce sites or any place where they can get it so they can sell it. So please, if you have this enabled, please disable it, because in the next couple of days, we are going to go in and disable this on all the stores. All it does is you cannot send orders to Ingram automatically. We expect the stores to log into the site, one staff member log into the site, check the orders, see the button, you think the order is good, click the button, and then that's good. So I think that is all I had mostly to cover to start with. And so now I'm going to go in and then take a look at all the questions. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Yes, so we covered that. Okay, so this question is, since Indiana is a stay-at-home state, how does that affect the Fort Wayne warehouse? We have been keeping in touch with Ingram about their warehouses, and so far Ingram is now considered an essential business, so they are allowed to keep their warehouse open, and they are fulfilling orders from all warehouses as far as we know. If there's any change, they would let us know. But again, with everything changing every day, we have to take it one day at a time. And Ingram, we have been told by Ingram that they are taking all precautions necessary for the safety of their staff. So you could find a delay. Those who have sent orders to Ingram in the past, and again, before all this happened, maybe 10% of the stores, IndieCommerce stores, used to send orders to Ingram. Now we have way more stores sending orders. We used to send maybe like 150 orders to Ingram in a month. Now we are sending several hundreds of orders in one day. And all these are going to Ingram for fulfillment. So there is likely to be a delay. And also Ingram told us that because of the social distancing, like the way it works is when the orders go to Ingram, there is like a person who actually picks up that order. It's a printout. They walk through the aisles and pick the book from the shelves, and then they get it packed and ship it out. So because of social distancing, if one employee is in an aisle, other employees have to wait until that employee is done and out of that aisle, so someone else can go into that aisle. So this is going to add some delay in how Ingram orders get processed, and that is for the best for their employees. So as of now, all their warehouses are functioning and they are fulfilling orders. Is there a maximum total for an order? It used to be $75. The $75 is if you want to send, if you have the option to, if you have enabled that option on the preference page to send an order to Ingram automatically. Again, we had put that $75 in place because we didn't want fraudulent orders to go to Ingram without someone looking at it. But now, since we recommend that you do not use that at all, if you click that button, send to Ingram button, there is no limit on the order total, because we trust that someone at the store has actually looked at the order and they choose to send it to Ingram. When we order from Ingram, what is the general timeline for an order to reach a customer? Again, that is changing every day. Before all this started, I think within 24 to 48 hours, the book would be on its way to the customer. But now there is a little delay. They are still doing excellent. The orders are getting shipped out within a couple of days. There might be a little delay. We have had customers ask if there is a tracking number for their shipment. We are using Ingram fulfillment through IndieCommerce. Excellent question. I was going to, I think, so let me go back to this order. Okay, unfortunately, I don't have an order that has been completed here. Let me, but I can just show you where it'll be. So let's say you have an order and the order is fulfilled by Ingram. And then you go to the order page. Here you will see all the comments that said Ingram has fulfilled the order. So and the status should be, it'll move from pending warehouse to shipped warehouse to completed warehouse. Now, when you click on this invoice link, right here, right next to the products in the book, in the order, you will see the tracking number from Ingram. So we get the tracking number from Ingram and then we put it here into the invoice. And customers will be able to see this when they log into the site, or if the customers are not able to see this, you can actually mail the invoice. Like it automatically fills in the customer's email. Mail means this is an email invoice. So it automatically fills in the customer's email here from the order. You can put in any other email and then you can mail the invoice. So this will send the invoice by email to the customers, and it will have the tracking number right here in this, right below the products. The tracking number will appear here. Okay. We also wanted to know who changes the order status for the Ingram fulfillment orders. Oh, the order status for the Ingram fulfilled orders change automatically. No one can actually touch those orders or change the status. So when the order gets into Ingram, you will see it's called pending warehouse. When Ingram ships the order, we will get a notification from Ingram and our system will process that notification and it will become shipped by warehouse. When Ingram sends the invoice, we process the invoice and it automatically becomes completed by warehouse. All those things happen automatically. Can we do partial Ingram if we have some books on hand? You cannot send half the order to Ingram and half yourself. The only way you can do is you have to, let's say the order comes in, there are 4 books in it, you have 2 in hand, and then you have 2 you want to send to Ingram, you have to split that order yourself. So you delete the 2 books that you have in hand, and then the remaining books can be sent to Ingram. And the 2 books that you remove, you will have to create a new order on behalf of the customer and then fulfill it. Again, please note that you're splitting one order into 2, which means you're going to incur additional shipping. And it's up to the store whether you want to contact the customers to get the additional shipping. Again, different stores handle it differently. The only way is for you to split the order. And in the help documents, you will find a document about how to create orders on behalf of the customer. So that will walk you through the steps. Do they ship multiple warehouses? Yes, if you use CDF, the system actually looks at all the warehouses to see which one has all the books in the order. Our send to Ingram button has disappeared and we have no idea why. Okay, that's another good question. So one of the reasons for an order to go to Ingram is all the books have to be available in one warehouse. Again, now we are sending like more than 10 times the orders that we usually send. And there are other businesses that are sending orders to Ingram for fulfillment, and the in-stock quantities at Ingram can change every hour. And something that we can, at least it may give you an explanation about why it's happening. So let's say we look at an order and click on the title. So we get updates from Ingram every day. Again, it's not in real time. So that's again another level of complexity. It's not in real time. We process it once a day. So let's say we process this information from Ingram early this morning, and we know how many Ingram has of that book on hand and how many in order. But when your customer places the order, maybe like midday, the numbers can change. But we don't get that update from Ingram because we only do it once a day. Up until now, we had very few stores using this feature. So it wasn't a top of our priority to have additional updates from Ingram. But this is like a very strange situation we are in where many stores are doing it. So the stock is changing every hour. So one place where you can look is if you click on the title of the book. So it will take you to the product page. So on the product page, if you go all the way down, here you will see the admin product details. Sorry. The admin product details. Here it says Ingram on hand. So this particular title, Ingram has plenty on hand. It has 1723. Again, we are not splitting it into the warehouses. So it has Ingram on hand is this much and on order. This is the update that we probably got earlier in the day. Again, this is a test site. It's on a sandbox, so these numbers may not be correct, but this is just where you would look for it. So if the book has like several hundreds in stock, then you're likely to get that. But let's say when you look at it, Ingram only has 10 in stock, then by the time your order gets there and someone is ready to process your order, they may run out of stock. So you may not see the button today. Tomorrow when you look at the order, you may see the button. And sometimes you would have seen the button today, and if you forgot to click it, you come back in a few hours, the button may have gone because Ingram, and then the next day the button may have gone because Ingram's stock got updated and Ingram ran out of stock for that particular title. If it's a very popular title, it's more likely to happen. Okay, so the next one. What if there is no send to Ingram button? Again, there are so many conditions we have to satisfy for the button. If it is not one of those conditions, if the conditions are not obvious, like maybe one of the books is not in stock, or if all the books are not in the warehouse, if you are not able to find the reasons, again, I showed you this other feature where we are trying to list all the reasons. It's still under testing. We will try to get it done soon, so it'll be helpful for the stores. But if you cannot find what the reason is, then you can send it to us. Again, it's going to take some time for us to look into those details. But again, if you see the send to Ingram button, just click that button. Don't hesitate, because 2 hours from then, you may not see that button. If we aren't charging through IndieBound accounts, can we still use that direct to Ingram button for our stores? If you are an IndieCommerce store, and if you are an IndieCommerce store, and if you have an IndieCommerce site, and if you see the send to Ingram button on your IndieCommerce site, all IndieCommerce sites can use it. I'm not sure if that answers the question, but if you see the button on your IndieCommerce site, it doesn't matter. You can just click it. Is the pre-order buttons available for IndieLite? Unfortunately, not. Pre-order buttons are not available for IndieLite. One of the main reasons being IndieLite stores, you don't have the option to save a customer's credit card profile. With pre-orders, it is important to have the profile saved because in case we need to change it, because pre-orders, we don't know when that book is published. So this is one of the features that we did not roll out to IndieLite. Is there a separate report or way to break out orders fulfilled by ABA and orders processed through our site but fulfilled by us? Yes. So again, the main difference is the order status. If the order was fulfilled by, when you say fulfilled by ABA, I'm thinking fulfilled by Ingram. So if it is fulfilled by Ingram, the order status would be pending warehouse, shipped by warehouse, or completed by warehouse. Any other state is an order that is completed by the store. What if books are coming from multiple warehouses? Again, we do not allow books coming from multiple warehouses. The only way you can send a book to order to Ingram from your IndieCommerce site is only if it's available in one warehouse. And also there's another question I just popped up. I just wanted to address it. Some stores have a question as to whether the customers chose Ingram fulfillment. The customers have no clue what's going on behind the scenes here. All they are doing is placing an order on your website. They are expecting you to fulfill the order. They don't know whether you're fulfilling it or whether you're sending it to Ingram. They don't even understand what Ingram is. So if you're talking to your customers, I would stay away from using the word Ingram because they are not aware of what Ingram is. Again, yes, do we know that Ingram is maintaining safe conditions in its warehouses? Are we putting Ingram workers at risk? As we mentioned earlier, we are getting updates from Ingram every day. Allison Hill is talking to Ingram. Every single day they have a meeting and they are getting updates. And as far as we know, Ingram is taking all precautions necessary for the safety of their staff. Why do some books that come out in September and October not have the pre-order from Ingram button? Is that too far away? Again, this one is a setting on your site. For pre-orders, I believe this is an IndieCommerce site. Okay, for pre-orders, you can choose how far out you want to accept pre-orders. If you chose 3 months, then books beyond that will, no, okay, sorry, I take it back. For your store fulfilled orders, you can accept orders for any pre-order. Depending on your setting, you can accept orders that for books that are not coming out like in 2021. That's fine. But for sending it to Ingram, we have a limit. We have a limit that the book should be out within 105 or 100 days from today. One of the main reason is, again, it has to do with credit card. So if an pre-order is sent to Ingram today, we are going to charge the customer's card today, and we send it to Ingram. There is a limit of 120 days before that charge can be refunded to the customer in case the customer doesn't want the book. There is a 120-day limit. So we want to make sure that we don't send orders that are like 6 months out, and then the customer decides like after 2 months that they don't want the book, they want to cancel the order. You won't be able to refund their credit card. You will have to call them. You have to find another way to refund the money back to the customer, and that may cost. It's not a nice way to do business when you cannot refund a customer that they paid through their credit card. So for that reason, we limit it to 105 days. So if the book is beyond 105 days pub date, then you won't see the send pre-order to Ingram button. So again, when we see the send to Ingram button, it's showing up because it meets all the requirements. Is that why? When we see the send to Ingram, it's showing up. Yes, that's correct. It's satisfying all the conditions. Is there a document with Ingram shipping costs for each shipping method? I think we'll have to get back to that. We are not sure if we have all the information. I just use Media Mail as an example because that one we know for sure what the rate Ingram is charging, but we can look into that. Is the 125 for each additional book? Yes, for Media Mail via Ingram, I think their current rate is $3.75 for the first book, and then $1.25 for additional books. So on your IndieCommerce site, if you want to set the shipping rate, your base rate has to be $2.50, and per book has to be $1.25. So that will cover exactly what Ingram is charging you. What do they charge? Again, shipping rates with Ingram, we don't know the details. We will see if we can get that information. Okay, Wiki says Ingram Media Mail is $3 for the first book and 50 cents for each additional book. I believe, Wiki, maybe I'm wrong, but I believe the rates changed in January. All the shipping rates changed in January, and the updated rate that we got from Ingram was $3.75 and $1.25. What happens if a customer selects UPS ground but has a PO box? Yes, again, if you look at all the conditions for order to be eligible for Ingram fulfillment, one of the conditions is PO box. If it is a PO box, it has to be only a USPS shipping option. So you have to make that available. Maybe you can just make a USPS ground as a shipping option available on your website. And if it's a PO box, that's the only thing they can use. Again, adding some language on your checkout pages, letting customers know. Again, now the way everybody's doing business is slightly different because if you're going to send it to Ingram, then all this additional messaging for your customers may help. Is there a report that will show specific titles sold for bestseller reporting? Yes. Yesterday, it came up in the webinar that we had yesterday. So I guess because most of the stores are not running these sales through their POS, they're they want a report that they can export per week for all the online orders that were full. We are working on it. We hope to have this in a form that can be easily made available for all the IndieCommerce and Indie Light sites without the stores doing any additional thing. It'll be a report that you can go to, put in the start date and the end date, and it will generate a report of all the sales that happen that period by ISBN. We are working on it. We hope to have something by the end of this week. Any idea what percentage of stores are using this method versus DTH? I cannot answer that question. Maybe that is something that can be brought up in the evening, the 3 p.m., the coffee hour, if other stores are willing to discuss it. Again, I'm saying this again several times. Before all this happened, we had maybe 10% of our members using CDF. Of course, they did CDF in addition to direct to home. So if an order could be sent to Ingram from their website, and if that is not a book that they usually handle, I think they would just have Ingram ship the book and forget about it. They did not do CDF 100%, but they did CDF. And other reason some stores did it is if they had multiple copies of a book. We have seen orders go to Ingram which are like 20 copies of a title. And stores don't want to deal with that in the store, so they just send it to Ingram. So that is some of the reasons, but now I don't know if it's a difference. What I have heard is with DTF, it's they have to plug in each order into iPage or through their POS. And if the stores are not able to access the POS without going to the store, that may be another issue. And the main reason I hear is not being able to input all these orders individually into iPage. Whereas here, you just hit that button and everything is taken care of. What is the average processing time start to finish for this method versus DTH? Again, I am not sure. With CDF now, it takes like, I would say 3 to 4 days. I'm not sure what the things. Maybe we can, I can gather these questions and maybe take it to Ingram and see if we can get an answer from them. This might be too detailed, but how can we set up free shipping only for orders over $50? In particular, do we need to make 2 shipping methods? Yes. So again, you can, let's say you're looking at media mail and you want to have 2 options of media mail. One is free shipping over $50. The other one is just $0 for, sorry, free shipping over $50. The other one, you're going to set a rate. You would create 2 media mail shipping options. In one, you can add a condition. And yeah, I don't want to get into how to create conditions now. If you want to let us, write to staff at BookWeb, we can help you with that. It's basically 2 shipping options, that's correct. And just make sure that the title for those 2, you can call them media mail. The label can be different. For one, you can say free shipping. The other one, you can just say media mail. If the title is the same, if the title is media mail, then it both can be sent to Ingram. And yes, there is also a help document about creating shipping options. Since there is not something like a CDF only option, we have had to disable all web orders. Our store employees have been barred from setting foot on the store's property right now, since there is not something like a CDF only option. There is not something like a CDF, yes, that is correct, because customers can find other books on your website. They can search and find other books, and some of them may not be eligible for CDF, that's correct. But there are few things that you can do, like in the preferences page, you can disable special orders. When you say special order, those are usually books that Ingram does not carry on hand. So you can disable special orders or hard to find orders. That will eliminate some orders, but again, it will not completely disallow non-CDF orders. And also, we are now stores are starting to sell puzzles and board games, and those again, they are not eligible for media mail. So it's hard to prevent those. If a customer has a book and that in the same order, then they will not be that order will not be eligible for Ingram. We quit using Send to Ingram because the shipping charges seemed really high compared to direct to home. Do they now charge the same for shipping via either method? If the product margin the same? I came in late, so maybe missed earlier. Thank you. Okay. Yes, Send to Ingram The shipping rates is different from direct to home. I think 2 weeks ago when we started this, there were some stores who decided they will not do CDF because one, the shipping for CDF is little more than the direct to home, and also because of the discount. Again, for discount, I don't know what the other rates are, but for example, for regular, if you go through CDF, you get 40% discount. Maybe you get better rates if you do direct to home. So again, there is a difference there, and the shipping also could be different. And I don't think Ingram is in a position to change any of that now. 2 weeks ago, there were a couple of stores who did not want to do CDF, but they just wanted to do direct to home. But now with so many orders coming in and very few staff available to do the order processing, those stores have actually started sending orders to CDF if they can. If they see the button, they send it via CDF. The rest, they handle it via direct to home. I think the choice, the preferences have changed in the last couple of weeks. Again, it depends on each store. That's correct. My IndieCommerce website doesn't seem to be set up to be able to send orders to Ingram. What do I need to set it up? I think all IndieCommerce sites should have the option to send orders to Ingram as long as the order is eligible. And Amanda, if you can just write to staff at, we can take a look and see if there is anything else that can be changed. It has to do with that particular order. We understand the gift cards don't work. Thinking it is the number 6. Yes. Can you explain how e-gift card works and whether they work for CDF? No, e-gift codes will not work for CDF, only credit card. This is like we are trying to accommodate more into the CDF, but the timing is so off right now. This goes back to, again, CDF was not a top priority for 80% of our members until the last couple of weeks. And so it was kind of like a low priority. We did everything we could. So we just kept credit card processing because that seemed to work for all the stores. And we did not look at other payment options. But now, so that was one of the reasons, and now we are not comfortable changing the way CDF works in order to accommodate other payment options. So online gift code is again something that changes from store to store. So we cannot allow that for CDF. But of course, we are looking at PayPal. I don't know if that will help any store. We are looking at allowing PayPal orders to go to Ingram. We are working on that. Hopefully we can have something when stores are still interested in sending orders to Ingram. Right now, we are sending customers to a page on the bookshop site. Is that our best and only option in this case? That is one of the options. Again, it varies from store to store. There are some stores who send customers to bookshop, and then there are other stores who want to keep their customers and try to fulfill their orders as much as possible. Even when it's just one book. And Tim, that may be a question if you want to discuss it in the evening, 3 p.m. I'm sure there are other stores, not just IndieCommerce stores, but other stores who may share what their experience is. Even when it's just one book and it's readily available in large quantities. Again, if Alicia, this question, I'm thinking that you don't see the option to send to Ingram, even if it is just one book and it is readily available in large quantities. But again, we have to take a look at the order. We don't know what other condition might be there that's stopping it. On a completed warehouse order, do we see the reconciliation for that order? Yes. So if every Monday we run the reconciliation report for orders that were completed before that Monday, before we run the report, those should be included in the reconciliation report. Sally, I'm not clear why a store would use the ABA fulfillment option versus direct to home. Again, the reason is, again, not many stores did it before. They are just doing it now, mainly because they have very few staff working and they are trying to fulfill orders the easiest way possible. 4 times a day. I thought you said you are all processing orders 4 times a day. Is that correct, or is it just once a day? Orders that are sent to Ingram, we batch up all the orders. When they come in, we just put them in a queue and then we send it out 4 times a day, 6:30, 9:30, 12:30, and 4:30. Eastern time. Okay. Money management report. Yes, the money management report should have all the Ingram orders. All the information regarding Ingram orders will be available in the money management report. How do I run daily report of sales? Christine, so it depends on what kind of sales report you're looking for. There are a couple of options on an IndieCommerce site. Right now, if you go to store, I can just quickly show where it is. So on any site, if you go to store, reports, you do have the sales report. That's one option, or you can do sales report. So this sales report is one option where you can put in the dates, and then you can generate a general sales report for that period, or you have reports, and then under sales report, you can do customized sales summary. This is another option. You can customize anything, like you can put in the date and the type of orders, the statuses you're looking for. If you also want a list, detailed list of all the products, you can update the report. And then this is a test site, so I don't have any orders, but generally this one has it. So there are a couple of options available here under store reports. Take a look at it. If you are not, if that doesn't give you what you need, then let us know. Okay, gosh, we have a whole bunch of our questions. Let's see how much we can do. Okay, then in an order for books or pre-orders, what do tell? If an order with available books and pre-order books, what do I tell? If it has both books and pre-orders, I think you will have to separate the pre-orders from this order, create a separate order for the pre-orders, and then you can send the books that are available now, and then the pre-orders have to be sent as a separate order. Ingram shipping rates on iPage under Detective Home frequently asked questions. Yes, that is one place you can look at it. And I don't know if those rates are the same as for CDF. It could be different. Coffee hour, it is, I believe it is 2 days a week at 3 p.m. It is on the, it's on BookWeb. You can find the information there. It's at 3 p.m. I believe it's 2 days a week. Okay, what is discounted ground shipping listed under supported shipping? Okay, discounted ground is just a name that you can use, because previously this goes back to stores that have been on the platform for many years. We used to have a shipping option called discounted ground. If you still have that, if you are one of those old IndieCommerce sites, and if you still have that, that is eligible for Ingram. Again, it's just a term that we used. Now stores create their own, they call it free shipping. It's just a term that's used. It's like any other shipping option. What is the difference in the store preferences between special orders, toggle, and the prevent hard to find sales? Okay, special orders are books that are not available on hand at Ingram as of today. Like when we check it today, if Ingram does not have it on hand, it becomes a special order. Hard to find are it's a subset of special orders where Ingram is not likely to get that book anytime soon. So those are the hard to find. So the special orders, it's likely that it may not be on hand, but it's on order. But special orders, but hard to find, those are like really hard to find, and you have no guarantee that you will ever get those books through Ingram. CDF is customer direct fulfillment. Sorry, I keep using CDF a lot. It is customer direct fulfillment. Does Ingram do CDF and or DTH orders from the IPS warehouse in Jackson? Is that one of the warehouses? We shop all, when you use CDF, we look at all the warehouses. You can add a coupon line for the amount of the gift card subtracted from that. You would then manually change the gift card amount. At least that's how. Okay, that's a good suggestion from Kathy. For anyone who is using gift card, if it is not an online gift code, if they just put in the gift card amount in the comments field or in a separate field, you can add the gift card amount, subtract the order total, and then so the order balance will go down, and then you can still send it to Ingram. And remember that, let's say you get an order, the order is for $20, you edit the order, remove a book, or apply a discount, the order total becomes 15. The credit card may be authorized for $20 when the order came in, but when Ingram ships the order and when our system charges the customer, it will only charge for the lower amount, the $15. So the customers may see an authorization for 20, but the actual charge will be for the actual order balance, which is $15. When you say get a photo, that doesn't include the 50 cents fee? Yes, that's correct. The 40% discount CDF orders for regular books, 40% discount, yes, the cost of the book would be, if the list price is $10, then Ingram will be charging you 40% discounted rate at $6. In addition to that, there is a 50 cents fee per book, processing fee, and the shipping that we owe Ingram. And so that is what we pay Ingram. For if you're using ABA's authorized.net, you will still be paying us the credit card fee, which we hand over to our credit card processor, and the 4.5% commission, the shared gateway fee. And yes, we appreciate this. Someone says, Melissa, we appreciate it. I know we are trying our best to do what we can for our members. We understand the difficult situation you're in, and ABA, all our staff, we are working from home. It gives us a flexibility to work different hours, and we are able to do our work very efficiently from home too. So we are doing everything we can. I have seen special order listed when book is long out of print. Some of these things, yes, that is an issue. We try to keep our data, metadata as updated as possible, but sometimes certain books can fall through the cracks. Okay, this is from Kathy. Thank you so much. I understand so much more this. I'm so glad that this session was useful for a lot of people. I know we get all these questions, and this is like most of the stores who have never done this before are trying to do this, and this is a lot. It's different from how you do your business regularly. So I'm just so glad that this session was helpful. And yes, we are getting a lot of emails from stores, and we are trying to be on top of everything as much as we can. We have additional staff members helping us with IndieCommerce stuff, because now stores are doing more business online. This is the only way many stores can do business now. We are on top of things, so please be patient if there is a delay in responding to you. If it is like a really urgent issue, and please put in urgent in your subject line in the email. Don't do it all the time, but only if it's really urgent. And sometimes if a store is asking us about a feature that is not urgent, we may sometimes not prioritize it for the day, but we will still get to it the next day, because we understand that a lot of our store staff, they are home, and so they think that this is a good time for them to be updating content on their website or adding new features on the website, and we appreciate it. But sometimes if there are urgent issues related to ordering, or like something is not working with checkout, so we have to prioritize that. So we are doing our best. We are getting close to like 250 to 300 emails in a single day, and we are working through this. And also we are all working from home, so there is only like any phone calls that you make goes into our office, and that gets converted into an email, and we get an email about this. If you leave a message, we get an email with your message. So although someone may not pick up the phone when you call, we are still getting the message. It goes in along with your other emails, and we will return the call. So if you have called us about something, and if you write to us about the same thing, which means it is adding 2 emails into our system, and sometimes that can just be duplicate requests from the same store. So if you have called us and left a message, just wait patiently. We are getting that information. We are getting your voicemail, and we will look into it. Or you can just write to staff@bookweb, and we are going through the tickets as fast as we can. So this session has been recorded, and any questions that comes up, and once it's recorded, we will post it somewhere, and we will provide a link. We usually have a channel on YouTube for IndieCommerce. We will post it there, and we will also make it available in the Coronavirus Resource Center. So you can go back and look at it. Thank you so much. This went way past our time. Let me quickly check if any additional questions came in before I end the session. Okay, and any of these thank you messages, I will make sure I pass it along to the entire ABA staff. Okay, I don't see anything else at this time. Okay, thank you all for making the time to come in today. And again, if you have any questions, just email us and be patient while we get through all the emails. Thank you.